Man, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. We talked all week, first of all, about stealing a possession, finding some way to steal a possession in this game because you knew it was going to be two similar offenses, and our kickoff coverage team was able to steal a possession right off the bat. We really, the threat of fakes is always there in the kicking game, but our punt block team, actually we kept our safe punt. We kept our defense on the field. We were able to stop a fourth down fake. We rushed for 200 yards in the first half. I think they had 21 plays in the first half. We gave up two big plays in the first half. They hit us on the first touchdown pass was something we had not worked on. It was a pretty good scheme, really a good play call. Our safety, actually the play before Jamal Merritt gets hurt, Dante Caro goes in at strong safety, first play. They start the option. Dante comes up to take the pitch, but it was a throwback pass. It was really a well-designed play. The other play they hit us on, Destry Berry had really good coverage. Great throw and catch, number 13 made the play. But, again, turnovers, kicking game, no self-inflicted mistakes, and, win up front. It's pretty impressive when you can rush for 200 yards on mostly dives in the first half. The second half, we didn't quite have the continuity that we had in the first half. But you know what? Our defense has been beaten up, and we're still a work in progress. We are a work in progress. But to be able to shut this team out in the second half is pretty impressive. Destry Berry, a guy that's certainly had his ups and downs. Deshaun Mills has his ups and downs. Destry Berry to make that interception the first play of the second half when they tried to go deep on him says an awful lot. Says an awful lot about that kid. As that game went on, you saw they tried to take a lot of deep shots on our secondary. I thought our secondary really responded well. I thought for the first time we actually started to feel some pass rush. Overall, for us to have 3 wins right now early in October, I couldn't be more proud of this coaching staff and this football team. Those guys deserve all the credit in the world. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That's a pretty good football team. And when you watch them, what they did to the University of Houston the first game of the season, how they played Nevada in the first half, that's a pretty good team. So I'm really proud of our guys. Coming off New Mexico State, the second half against Boise, I thought they did a great job this week of just doing everything we asked them to do, and we asked them to do a lot. I told them early on they were going to have Sunday and Monday off, but we were putting it all in this game. Sunday and Monday off, they deserve it. You know what's coming next. We're going to fly to Hawaii. We're at Air Force. That's a grueling back-to-back 2 games right there. So, again, with this roster, the way things are, I think time management, how we do things intelligently is as big a part of this as the X and O's. When we practice, how long we practice. We continue to try to juggle that. Jamal Merritt's knee, I think, is of concern. Deshaun Mills went out with a knee. They're going to x-ray that. On offense, I'm not sure. Corian Chambers limped around most of the night. But again, to rush the ball for 200 yards in the first half and just be running dives up in there for the most part, pretty impressive. So, any questions?
Did you expect to get that out of Carrier coming into this game?
Oh, yeah. No, I'll tell you something. We said it in the spring, he's a good little football player. He's a good player. And I think he's tough. And I'll tell you, did you see him make the play on the punt at the end of the game when he went down there and knocked that punt returner down? That's the guy. What did he rush for in this game? 192. At the end of the game, he's down there covering that punt, making that tackle. We're a thin team. We ask a lot of guys to do a lot of things. Freddie Young on the kickoff. That's Freddie Young, free safety that's been out with a thigh bruise, made the play on the kickoff. So those are the things. The unselfishness of our receivers. We don't throw the ball much. How many times did we throw the ball tonight? 3 times. We threw the ball 3 times. And we threw it 1 time. That means we threw the ball once last game in the second half. We've thrown 4 passes in a game and a half. But right now that's what we are. That's what we are, finding a way to compete as we piecemeal this thing together. But I tell you, I could not be more proud of the toughness, the buying in. It's exciting to watch. It's fun to watch, and I appreciate the effort of these guys.
Coach, what do you think about the way the team set the tone, score on the first drive, force a turnover, and then score again?
Big. You know, we talked again. I mean, I was nervous. If you noticed, I mean, they're an option team. There wasn't much option. They were going to come out like a lot of teams and spread it out a little bit and throw it on us. So I was nervous. You know, we were a little bit off balance early. They made some big plays early. So anytime you can steal the possession. And, you know, Dennis saw the same thing. I mean, Dennis faked that punt for a reason. You know, he didn't want to give the ball back to our offense. We didn't want their offense to have it. That's just what we are. But I do think our defense in the second half started to feel good about themselves and got better as the game went on. I do think we're getting better. What Boise beat Southern Miss 40-14 today in Hattiesburg. You know, we've played some pretty good offenses, and we're still swinging with the guys we have. So,
The plan going in to run straight at him more than option, or just about
that's what we are, Rick. You know, we've got to get the dive going. We knew if we had an advantage in this game, and Dennis and I talked about it after the game, our offensive line is a little bigger and stronger than their defensive line. And, yeah, really it was a dive, run the ball up in there kind of game.
Coach, considering the improvements you guys have made, it is almost halfway through the season, and being 500 going into the Bowl Conference, bowl possibilities, you think about that?
Ah, please. Please. I mean, we're scratching and clawing for everything we can get, honestly. We really are. And, you know, it's again, managing the roster, you know, all those things. So let's not get carried away. You know, we've beaten Southern, New Mexico State, and Texas State, but it's 3 wins, and our losses are to Texas, Texas Tech, and Boise State. A pretty good schedule. So for us to be 3-3 right now, it's about as good as you could draw it up.
Be a nice little carrot out there for the guys, wouldn't it?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Probably for the coaches too, right?
Along those lines, are you surprised at this point that you are 3-3, knowing what you had coming in?
You know, I think if in your best case scenario, as you looked at the schedule, if you're honest and you're realistic, 3-3 was a goal for us. 3-3 was a goal. 9-22-12 was big. 3-3 was big. And, you know, these seniors now, they've beat the team from down the road for the first time. Now they've won a homecoming game for the first time. So there's starting to be a pretty good little checklist of things these guys are accomplishing. And, again, so appreciate it. And I tell you, this guy right here, that's a hell of a football player, man. Casey, I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, thank you.